It is moving to the north and east. Looks like it's going to cross over Highway 70 in the Garner area pretty soon. We should be getting our latest velocity or sweep pretty soon here. But that was very, very telling information from Tom Miners, meteorologist Tom Miners, that there was an observed tornado from the public around the Lake Benson area. So we have to treat this. This is on the ground right now. So this is a very concerning situation as folks in the Garner area need to get to a place of safety right now as this apparent tornado is headed in your direction.
All right, and once again, if you're just now joining us, meteorologist Vernon Turner alongside meteorologist Scott Dean. Tornado warning continues for Wake and Johnston County. The main concern right now is in Wake County near the Garner area. They have shrunk the polygon to take some areas that are in the clear out of it. If you are in downtown Raleigh, Cary, Apex, Wake Forest, you're in the clear. Folks in Garner, you need to be in a safe location right now. Let's include the White Oak area. Also for folks in and around Knightdale and Wendell, you're not in the warning polygon just yet, but if a new warning is extended, it's going to include you because this storm is moving towards the northeast. So for folks, if you live along southeast Raleigh, up along 87, 64, 264, make sure to go ahead and get to that safe location because you're dealing with a healthy rotation with this storm moving into the Garner area. And we have received a report coming in through Tom Miners, that our meteorologist Tom Miners, that there was a reported tornado spotted over at Lake Benson in Garner. Now, mind you, it could have been a funnel cloud. It could have been an actual tornado on the ground. We do not have confirmation, but we are starting to get reports of something possibly being on the ground there. And Scott, you want to? Oh wow, that is a healthy rotation. All right, let's switch over to Max 5.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and load this right now here. This is where we're talking about the tornado coming in. Let's go back to Max 3 while I get this set up here, Vernon.
Gotcha. Okay, so Max 3, once again, you're talking. Oh, sorry, I was looking at it too. That's the rotation right there, folks. That is right there in downtown Garner. That is not what we want to see. That's where you have your inbound and outbound winds creating a tight couplet, and this is right along 70 near downtown Garner. So that is right there along Hammond Road area, just to the east.
It's crossing over 70 right as we speak.
So for folks, let's just go out ahead of it. If you are along Jones Sausage Road, Rock Quarry Road, please get into a safe location right now. We have to act as if there is a tornado on the ground as we are looking at a healthy rotation there on the southeast side of Raleigh. Please do not try to look outside your window. This storm is producing heavy rainfall. You're not going to see the tornado if it is on the ground. This is moving northeast towards Rock Quarry Road, the Pool Road area, and along Jones Sausage Road. And Scott, you're doing some more street level mapping, tracking right now.
Yeah, that's right. I'm on some local roads here. We're talking about Yergin Road over towards the Weston Ridge Run Road. We'll go ahead and zoom into some of these areas here. Mechanical Boulevard, Capitol View Street, West Garner Road, Willa Vista Road, Grassy Rio Lane. This is where I think the possible tornado is, and you're seeing these greens and red pixels very close to one another as it's crossing over Highway 70. To give you an idea where this is Highway 70 coming into the western portions of Garner and moving to the northeast. Looks like it's crossing 70 just to the south of Greenbrier Estates. I'll put this into motion, and you see the latest image. There's the red and greens, and then they really brighten up right there. It would not surprise me at all with the trend that we're seeing right now that there's a tornado crossing. New tornado warning has just been issued. There you go.
And there goes my phone going off. All right, so
let me go ahead and see what that. Okay, let me go ahead and start that off with a tornado warning. National Weather Service in Raleigh has issued a tornado warning for eastern Wake County until 1 o'clock at 12:36. A tornado producing storm. This means it's observed. Was located over Garner, moving near Raleigh, moving to the northeast at 25 miles an hour. Here are the areas. This is a radar-confirmed tornado. In other areas that will be affected by this storm will be Rollsville, Knightdale, Lake Benson, Wendell, and the Lake Wheeler Road. So this is a
tornado observed. Tornado
This is
observed. This is official. So, folks, once again, this is a tornado observed. National Weather Service. This tornado is on the ground in downtown Garner. So if we can come out, double box this for me right now, Gabe in the back. Let's do this. All right. So we're going to put a track on this. And I want to make sure, the reason why I want to make sure you see us, we're going to be with you every step of the way with this this observed tornado. And notice how the new polygon, Scott, is more towards the north. This thing is turning. That's an indication of how strong the storm is. So for folks in and around the Holly Hill Hospital area, this tornado will be in your area at 1247, near the Wilders Grove area, 1249, Pets Crossroads, 1255, Raleigh Hill, 104, and then even farther northeast towards Rollsville, right around 107, which is on the outskirts of this warning. So as we expand back out, we're looking at, for folks in downtown Garner along Highway 70, folks along Rock Quarry Road, Pool Road, all of southeast Raleigh, you need to get into a safe location immediately. So that means the lowest floor of your home, innermost room, away from windows. I cannot stress this enough. A tornado is a life-threatening situation. You need to take and respect this storm. Try not to go see it. Do not look out the window because this is a rain-wrapped tornado, and that's moving at about 35 miles an hour towards the northeast. So this is moving through Garner. Now it looks like it's about to cross over Rock Quarry Road, and this is going to be an issue for the Beltline right around 440 as well. So for folks near Pool Road, near 440, get into a safe location. Same can be said for the Knightdale area and areas farther northeast.
Okay, let's go to Max 5 here, because what I've got is a radar loop of the circulation, and you're clearly seeing this crossing over 401 and now moving through the Garner area is passed over Highway 70 as we speak. As you're listening to me right now, it is passing by, is getting ready to cross over into I-40, or right where I-40 comes into the Beltline here. So it's crossing I-40 just south of the Beltline as we speak. In fact, we'll go ahead and put on the latest image. You're seeing those red pixels and those green pixels. So right now the tornado is right around the Creech Road area, Jones Sausage Road. It's getting ready to move towards Rock Quarry Road as it's going to be crossing the interstate as we speak. As I'm speaking right now, it could be crossing the interstate just south of where it comes in on the south side of the Beltline here. So if you live over towards Rock Quarry Road, over towards Barwell Park Drive, get to a place of safety, get away from windows, get to the lowest portion of your home as this apparent tornado is moving in. Now, it looked like earlier on, Vernon, when I put this into motion, that the circulation really tightened up right around the Garner area.
Yes.
And then now is passed by Garner. And so the tornado threat in downtown Garner is quickly passing, and now we're focusing on the southeast corner of the Beltline here around Rock Quarry Road. So again, that area, Rock Quarry Road, is where we're watching. Also looking at New Hope Road, Pool Road. All these areas on the east side of the Beltline is where you need to watch very closely. This has also been observed, not just radar indicated, but an observed tornado. And this is likely rain-wrapped at times because we're looking at the heavy rain that's moving through these areas, Vern.
Yeah, and the one thing that we mentioned before about the new polygon is a bit more north. Due to the rotation picking up, the storm is turning, and it's going a bit more closer to downtown Raleigh, where we thought the trajectory would have been more towards outside the Beltline, towards 540 and Knightdale. This may clip portions of the Beltline right around the Rock Quarry Road area, right around Wake Med area too. So I'm really concerned for folks. If you are in and around, let me bring up my map here, the Sunnybrook Road, Pool Road inside the Beltline. If your areas close to the Social Security Administration building, the Sherwood Forest area, Rosemont Garden area, Augusta Crossing, Sunnybrook Estates, going up towards the, if you're in and around Walnut Creek, the softball complex out there, the historic Oakview County Park, you are in line with this observed tornado. As we're going to move, let me pause radar so you can get a good look at that. Oh, that is a strong inflow into that. And you're looking at, you see the two areas?
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
So two
Yeah,
areas
absolutely.
of rotation now that we're tracking. We do have one observed tornado. There's a second area looking like it's trying to spin up, but we're going to concentrate on this one right here.
Rock Quarry Road right now.
Right, it's right over top Rock Quarry Road, right there near the intersection of 440. That's actual, and also that's where I-40 runs into 440 there. So that is a highly trafficked area, especially for the tail end of the weekend there. So we hope that if you know anybody traveling I-40 west into Raleigh, contact them now and tell them to stop immediately, because we don't know what's if that tornado is still on the ground, what damage it's leaving behind, and we want to make sure that we don't put people, allow people to run into a particularly dangerous situation. So this storm continues to move northeast at 35 miles an hour towards the northeast. So for folks in and around the Maybrook Forest area, this rotation is pretty much right on top of you, going farther northeast up towards the Fieldstone Crossing area, Augusta Crossing area. That rotation is going to be on top of you in minutes. This is an observed tornado. This is confirmed from the National Weather Service. This tornado on the ground, it was first reported in Lake Benson with that viewer report. So thankfully we had a few extra minutes.
And that was relayed to us by Tom Maynard, meteorologist Tom Maynard.
Yes, we want to thank Tom for that, relaying that information. Tom Miners for relaying that information. Now, as we continue on, this storm is moving at a decent rate, 35 miles an hour towards the northeast. So folks in and around Augusta Crossing, Maybrook Crossing, Fieldstone Crossing, in and around historic Oakview County Park. If you're near the Social Security Administration building, not too far away from that, you need to seek shelter right now. Also farther northeast, if you're along I-87 as well, get into a safe location. That's folks along South New Hope Road, South Rogers Lane as well, going farther northeast up towards Village Lakes, Anderson Point, Waterfront Landing, Barclay Downs, and up towards Green Pines and the Langston Ridge area. Please seek shelter immediately, because this storm is still showing a healthy rotation. And I know looking at your screen right now, you're just seeing a lot of colors right now, but what we're looking at is this tight rotation right here, and we're going to get a new scan in a couple of minutes. But this storm has been rotating ever since South Carolina, and it really tightened up over, first over Harnett and Lee County, but then it was more impressive over Wake County, and now we have the observed tornado, Scott.
All right, let's go to Max 5 here. And what I'm doing here is I've panned out, and we're going to give you a perspective on exactly where the threat is. So it is for Wake County, and it does include the downtown Raleigh area, but the area rotation that we're looking at is on the east side of the city, on the east side of the Beltline. So if you're watching from Cary or Apex over towards Holly Springs, those areas, this does not include you. I think the next town that we need to concentrate on is around Knightdale, is where this rotation is showing up on the radar. In fact, let's go ahead and I'll put that on right now and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Vernon just showed you this, and this is where the rotation is as it crossed over Highway 40. I'll back this up, and you can see how it really tightened up right there, Vernon, right around, if you're looking at the top of your screen, at 1232, right around Garner, over Highway 70. That's where it really tightened up. I feel like, in my opinion, that's probably where it was on the ground, where we had an observation also over around Lake Benson. Now it's begun to move over to the north over Rock. Let's see, this is I-40, the last image we've got right here. So this is one radar we're accessing. Let's go to another radar. This is the one to the north, and it is also showing this couplet that was moving through that area. And it looks like now the threat is now moving over towards I-87. This would be 64 and 264, moving away from the Beltline. So this is around Pool Road, over towards Hodge Road. This is where we're talking about the possibility of a tornado still on the ground. It looks like to me this is weakened a little bit, so hopefully the circulation has lifted and we're not seeing that on the ground anymore. But if you live in the Pool Road area over towards Hodge Road, over towards Knightdale, around Old Faison Road and up to the north where Highway 64, US 64 business is located. Around the Melbourne area, that's where you need to get to a place of safety. That's where 540 comes southward and stops on I-87. So that a lot of folks know where that exactly is. I would also, if you live over towards the South Smithfield Road area, I would also get to a place of safety. It looks like the circulation is going to be heading in that direction. If you are watching from downtown Raleigh, the threat for a tornado is east of there. The threat for a tornado, even though you're under a tornado warning, is east of there. That is mainly to the east, on the eastern side of the Beltline, over where I-87 is. So that's why we're zoomed into this area. That's where the radar is picking up on that. As I'll show you the National Weather Service radar, that's located in Clayton. And let's get the velocity on there. And it looks like to me, Vernon, do we have a new? I don't know if we have a new. This is 1247. It looks like that image is a little old, so I'm going to go back to the other one because I think that is more of an updated image there. Again, it looks like around Pool Road is where we're seeing that circulation. So. This is passing over Pool Road over towards I-87. We have our latest image right now over towards Hodge Road. So I'm going to stay on this image here because I think that's going to be a little bit better information for viewers. So get to a place of safety if you live in those areas around Pool, Hodge Road. Rain coming down pretty heavily. There's a little bit of a notch here around Pool Road. This is to the southeast of South Smithfield Road. And as I zoom in a little bit tighter, you can see some of the other roads, some of the neighborhoods. Front Hills Lane over towards the Clifton Road area. Stony Falls Way is another area that I think we could certainly have some rotation here. What's interesting to me, Vernon, is I'm not seeing as much of a signature as we saw earlier, and I think that signature on this radar, it looks kind of archaic right here, but if you look close, you see that right there. In fact, I'll highlight that. Look at the clock.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Weather on the One's Forecast Center.
To max 3 then.
Yeah, that rotation has substantially weakened from what it once was before, which is great news. Looks like you're still dealing with some very strong winds in and around the Knightdale community. So that is a concern there. I'm just concerned. We had an observed tornado on the ground. How long was it on the ground and what did it hit? And now as that storm moves out, we're going to have a little bit of a lull and we're going to have reports coming in if there is any damage. Hopefully not, but that's a populated area and we'll be watching that closely. Now, we're still dealing with this tornado warning. Just because the rotation has weakened up in our eyes, we're still dealing with a tornado warning until 1 o'clock, so another 10 minutes left on this warning there. You're still dealing with some strong straight-line winds along I-87 just to the east of Raleigh, in between Raleigh and Knightdale. That's where that rotation has weakened, well, it has broadened out, should I say. And but you're still dealing with some strong straight-line winds, which can still knock down trees and power lines and lead to power outages. Now, expanding out, we're going to deal with a bit of a lull for about an hour, and then there's going to be more storms coming in. So, yes, we're going to continue to track this storm, still showing some signs of a broad rotation, not as strong as before, but we still should treat as if a tornado is on the ground until this warning is allowed to expire or get canceled. And I think they just updated the polygon a bit and curbed off the parts of the, I guess Garner is now out of the warning, but now that still includes Wendell, Knightdale, and Wake Forest.
So the latest image here, this is a tornado warning that remains in effect until 1 p.m. At 12:49, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 7 miles northeast of Garner, 7 miles southeast of Raleigh, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. I've got Max 5 here that shows the storm track here of where this possible rotation is.
We can switch to Max 5, please.
Yeah, this is this rotation is moving over I-87 right now. east of the Beltline. So if you live in Knightdale, this is where the circulation is headed in your direction. Get to a place of safety. The lowest part of the building, away from windows, an interior hallway or bathroom, is the best place to be. Cover your head with a pillow or maybe a bicycle helmet. Other towns that we're looking at, Raleigh, Hopkins, Riley Hill, are also in the possible path of this tornado. This, again, until 1 o'clock. This is moving to the northeast at 25 miles an hour. So before we had an observed tornado, now it's being called a possible tornado. So hopefully this is weakened and we just have maybe a wall cloud or a circulating cloud that is not reaching the ground at the moment.
That's exactly right. All right, so we continue with our live wall-to-wall coverage for this tornado warning for Wake County until 1 o'clock. Yes, Johnston County, you were allowed to be taken out of that warning because the observed tornado was first reported over Lake Benson. We want to, whoever that was, that viewer that told Tom Miners to tell us that there was a tornado in the area, we thank you because you may have saved lives with a few extra minutes of notification before it was observed by the National Weather Service. So we want to say kudos to not only our fellow teammate Tom Miners, but also that friend from church, he said, mentioning the tornado near Lake Benson. Kind of get an amen to that, right?
Yeah,
so
that's right.
We continue with tornado coverage, this tornado warning storm for Wake County until 1 o'clock, still showing some signs of rotation just to the north of Knightdale.
Yeah, we're talking about north of 64 and where 540 comes in to that. So that's where the rotation is, around Forestville Road, around the Buffalo Road area. This is a broad rotation, South Hall Road and Hodge Road, all these areas. And this is headed up to the northeast over towards Horton Road. So all these areas, if you live close to 540, north of 64 business, this is where this storm of rotation is. As I back out a little bit, you'll see what I'm talking about and put it into motion here. You can see how there it is right there, that rotation. You see it right there, and I've highlighted that with the latest image with the arrows circulating. So that's where we're seeing this, in my opinion, the circulation and a possible tornado that is right over 540. This is north of where 540 ends at I-87 and north of where 64 crosses 540. So it looks like it's crossing that area right now, and it looks like it's going to be heading generally towards Rollsville. Is where we're looking at. So that's the next area that I think we need to concern ourselves with, the Roseville area. Roseville Road over towards Riley Hill Road. Let me zoom in even tighter here, see if we can get some other roads. Buffalo Road, Forestville Road, Mitchell Mill Road, and Fix-It Shop Road. So these are some of the things that are coming up on my computer with this circulation. So National Weather Service has this tornado warning for less than 6 minutes. We'll have to see if they extend this farther to the north. If they do, that would include areas to the north, possibly, if they were extended, around Bunn over towards Lewisburg. So if you live in those areas, while the threat is not on your area right now, it may be, so that's something we're going to watch. So we've been showing the velocity here. There's where that is. But also what I also want to show is the reflectivity, or the rain. And you can see that this system certainly has some heavy rain, and there's the motion of it right there. So, again, Vernon, would you agree that right in there,
yes,
just north of Knightdale? So it looks like pretty soon the threat for a tornado is going to be diminishing, lessening around Knightdale, and then we turn our attention to Rollsville, right? Do you have some communities or something around there?
Yes, I'm looking at that. If we can, for our viewers, can we get off the full screen and we'll do a double box? We have pull up Max 3 and Max 5 in a double box if we can. I just want to make sure, yes, I know the viewers want to see radar, but not everyone understands what they're looking at on radar, even as well as we try to describe it. We're going to try to give you an outside view as best as possible. This is I-540 at US 64. The one thing I love to see, not a lot of cars on the road there, but there could be a reason for that. I'm off in the distance there. I'm trying to see if there's any trees on the road or not, but this is right around the area where we have that area of rotation. Still some heavy rainfall. Looks like folks are getting by rather okay right there. We're going to try to go in, I would say, at Buffalo Road. That's another area we're going to look at too. We're going to bring that up for you as well. So for folks in and around, pretty much just to the north of Knightdale, that's the Emerald Point area, Bryson Village. If you're pretty much along I-40 near Buffalo Road, we're looking at Forestville Road as well, the Lewis Farm area, Foxcroft, Headingham as well, especially if you're just east of Headingham, just east of the Neuse River there. That's where we're in line with this area of rotation where there could still be possibly a funnel cloud, a wall cloud, or maybe even still a tornado on the ground. We're watching that rather closely. This is you're looking at velocity, the inbounds and the outbound winds, showing you where that tight rotation may be. And Scott, you did it. You put it in the loop showing how that rotation was really tight over the Benson Lake area, the Lake Benson area.
There
and
it
as
is
we travel
right there.
northeast, yeah, that's exactly right.
And I tell you what, this radar, the terminal radar site has been invaluable at showing this rotation, which is now moving up through Knightdale. It really, really tightened up just to the southwest of Garner. I think when all is said and done, we're going to see maybe some damage southwest of Garner right there. Right there is where it really tightened up, but you can still see at least some rotation moving up through Knightdale, moving to the north and east at 25 miles an hour. In fact, let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and zoom into this area here and give you an extension of where we think this rotation is going to be headed, and it looks like it's headed up towards Rollsville, Highway 96. It'll be interesting. The tornado warning is in effect for another 2 minutes, whether they're going to extend this farther to the north and east.
Yeah, I'm on the lookout for any. All right, so getting some reports of damage around the Woodland and Timber Drives area in Garner's, and there's possible damage to Lowe's Food in Garner. So we had an observed tornado first at the Lake Benson area, and I was naming out, that's the one grocery store I didn't name. I hate that. Hopefully no reports of injuries or anything worse, but getting reports of damage around Woodland and Timber Drives in Garner. And possible damage.
New tornado warning has just been issued.
New tornado warning, okay.
So let's see what that is. New tornado warning. I'll go ahead and read this off. Tornado warning for northeastern Wake County and Franklin County until 1:30 at 12:57. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles west of Zebulon, moving to the northeast at 35 miles an hour. This is a radar indicated tornado. Some of the areas that this will be near is Wake Forest, Zebulon, Bunn, around 1:15. So what we're seeing is rotation that is still showing up on the radar. And like I said earlier, it did look like that Bunn would be in this tornado warning, and it certainly is. This certainly includes Rollsville area and right up towards the Lewisburg area as well. So this is where we're seeing the rotation, right in this area, just south of Rollsville, moving up towards Highway 96, Vernon.
Yeah, so we continue with the one bit of good news with that new tornado warning. It said radar indicated. So no longer are we dealing with a confirmed tornado, but there still could be a wall cloud, still could be some strong straight line winds that could lead to some damage. But we are getting reports, though, if you're just now joining us, of some reports of damage around Woodland and Timber Drives in Garner, and the Lowe's Food in Garner as well. So I'm going to switch to Max 3 here, so you're no longer going to see our traffic cameras now. I'm going to go back, and yes, we're still dealing with the tornado warning, and which I want to make sure to stress this, because I know some folks in Franklin County were just alerted, and maybe you just now joining us. So for our Franklin County viewers and new viewers in Wake County, we continue with wall-to-wall tornado coverage. A tornado-warned storm moving through eastern Wake County, moving towards Lewisburg, towards Roseville, towards Franklin County. This warning goes until 1:30. This warning includes Knightdale, Wake Forest, the Wendell and the Zebulon area. So this is a concern because this storm has been rotating ever since South Carolina. This storm has already produced one tornado beginning in the Lake Benson area and possibly made it as far northeast up towards Rock Quarry Road, maybe the Pool Road area. Still, that will be determined at a later date how far northeast it made. But already getting reports of damage around the Woodland Timber Drives in Garner and the Lowe's Food in Garner may have received some damage. We're getting viewer reports of that in.
All right, let's talk about where the threat is right now. This looks like this tornado, parent tornado. This is looking like a rotation on the radar is south of Rollsville right now. This is headed towards Highway 96 at the moment. This is where the threat is right at the moment. So just south of Rollsville, in my opinion, where you're seeing the reds and the greens come together, this is showing up on the radar. This is the same couplet that tightened up right over the Garner area, where we're seeing some reports, getting reports of damage. Right now, this is not looking as impressive as it looked when it went over Garner. That's good news, but let me give you a perspective here. Riley Hill Road, moving across that road, it's going to be passing over Highway 96 very shortly. This will be just southeast of downtown Rollsville. Looks like it's going to be heading towards the north and east. As I pan over, you can see Bethlehem Church Road, Pilot Riley Road. These areas need to get to a place of safety right now. Right around the Riley community, over towards Barham and over towards Lassiter. These communities over, and looks like it's going to pass by just to the west of Hopkins as well. So this is where the rotation is. You're seeing the greens and the reds come together. It's kind of hard to, let me go ahead and show you on with some arrows. This is where we're talking about, right in here. And as we put this, I'm going to back this out. We'll put this into motion, and you'll see the area tighten up here as it moved across Garner. As I pan out, you see it right in there, right there. There's where I think, we'll go ahead and zoom in on that area. That's where I think we probably are seeing some damage. That's where it really brightened up. So you get an idea what I'm talking about. See the green and reds really start to tighten up and brighten up right there as they move right across just southeast of Garner. And then the circulation continues to move to the north and east. I'll pan up that way over towards Knightdale. And the very latest image now is now showing up north of Knightdale, Vernon.
And that's exactly right. I mean, we can go back also looking at using one of our devices on Storm Tracker with the shear track. So it gives you a history of the rotation of that storm, and you can see that it really amplified over the Lake Benson area. So that's when you see the dark blues turn the light blue, and then you got a little bit of purple there. That's when we first passed along that report from meteorologist Tom Miners about the tornado in the Lake Benson area. Then a few minutes later, then we got a confirmation from the Weather Service that a tornado was on the ground. So this is a storm worth watching, because as I expand out, this storm was rotating all the way back down towards Lee and Harnett County, and it continues
South Carolina.
And South Carolina.
Yeah.
I
we
should
were watching
say that.
this early.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I put the timer back for the shear track, it would show the history of the past 6 hours, how it's been pretty impressive. And it's still showing some signs of rotation now right there on the Franklin and Wake County line just to the east of Rollsville. So that's right there along Highway 98, 401, in between Rollsville and the Bunn area. So still a heads up for folks in Franklin County. This rotation will likely take its way. It's probably going to just travel northeast right on the east side of 401 going up towards Lewisburg. If it holds together, we'll continue to watch it. Yeah. But of course, other issues you're dealing with this storm, obviously heavy rain. You're still dealing with strong winds. I know tornadoes, that's what's eye-catching. That's what grabs your attention. But straight line winds can do just as much damage as a weak EF0, EF1 tornado. So make sure that you're still showing the storm respect, because it's still packing a punch with heavy rain, few lightning strikes, and some strong winds that could lead to some damage of trees, power lines. Any loose items around people's houses can turn into items that could hit you, and we don't want that. So we don't need you out with this storm, especially as the tornado warning continues. And before I pass it off, Scott, just want to remind folks we're dealing with this tornado warning for Franklin and Wake County until 1:30. So we have another almost 24 minutes left on this warning, and that includes Wake Forest, Knightdale, Wendell, and the Zebulon area.
Now, I will say this. The threat of the tornado is pretty much ended in Knightdale. If you're listening or watching in Knightdale right now, that threat is passed by to your north and east. Looks like this circulation is passing just to the northwest of Wendell, and looks like to me, as I put this into motion, this circulation, it looks like it's going to pass to the west of Zebulon. So now we're talking about an area between Rolesville, southeast of Rolesville, and to the northwest of Zebulon. This is crossing Riley Hill Road as we speak right now. It is going to be crossing Highway 96, North Carolina Route 96, to the southeast of where it crosses 401. And if it holds together, it will be eventually crossing North Carolina Route 98 to the west of Bunn. So the areas that need to watch here, and let me go ahead and put a storm track here, the areas that need to watch are areas northeast of Knightdale, up towards the Bunn region. So there's where the circulation, the best of my estimate, and you can see some of the areas that are affected by this. Riley Hill, Hopkins, Sutton, Bunn, and Raynard. Those areas, those communities, get to a place of safety because this, while this certainly it looks like to me that this dropped a tornado just around the Garner area, this could tighten up once again and form another circulation because as we look at Max 3 here, Vernon has got the bigger picture. This cell's all by itself. And then we call that a discrete cell. So it is taking advantage of the shear and the instability by itself. It's the only game in town. It's the only player in town right now. So it has all this instability and shear to work with. What you're looking at off to the west there is another line of storms. We'll have to see if that shows some rotation. That may be the next line that we're going to have to watch. So this is more of a marathon rather than a sprint.
Yeah, I kind of like to say tornadoes are like little kids with a room full of toys. Like the kid likes to be the only kid in the room with all those toys. Right, don't like to share the toys. That's what storms are like. They don't want to share the energy with other storms because they can't get as strong. And that's what happened with this discrete storm cell moving through Wake County. It had a lot of wind shear to feed off of, wind energy to feed off of. The storm energy was available for it to blossom, and it sadly produced a tornado that, by some reports coming in, produced a tornado. So we saw that rotation first prompt a warning back towards Lee County, and then it continued to show some decent rotation and went as far back and really blossomed over the Lake Benson area and produced some damage. And I'm going to go back and see if we have any more new reports coming in real quick.
It looks like this tornado, this apparent tornado, is probably rain-wrapped at this point, which means you can't see it, which it means that if you're near a window and you're trying to see this, all of a sudden it's on you with the heavy rain, and then that's where people get injured because flying glass is one of the main reasons people get injured. So please be safe and don't try to watch this, look for this tornado. I know that's what everyone wants to do. We're curious creatures, aren't we? And it looks like whatever's out there is right over Riley Hill Road, getting ready to pass over that road and head up towards North Carolina Highway 96. So
some more information coming in. I mentioned about the damage on Timber Drive and Woodland Drive. Numerous trees down, power lines down at the intersection of Timber Drive and Woodland Road. There was also severe roof damage on at least one home. So that is official through a train spotter, National Weather Service. That was right around due to that tornado. Still trying to get reports about the Lowe's food. That was a viewer report, so not confirmed through the Weather Service, but still something to watch. I also heard that there was a stoplight down as well. I would imagine power is out in sections of the Garner area. So, of course, if we advise you, if you don't have to drive, don't drive out in this mess because more storms are on the way. Yes, there may be a little bit of lull after this discrete cell, but more storms are on the way. But, of course, if you have to drive and you approach intersection with the stoplights out, treat it as a four-way stop. That's what Chief Meteorologist Gary Stevenson, he loves to include. Treat it like a four-way stop. A lot of people like to zoom on by, and that could turn a bad situation into a worse situation, and we don't want that. So right now we do have a reporter en route to Garner to get more information about the damage in that area. Hopefully there were no injuries. Hopefully there were no lives lost. As of right now, the only official confirmed information we have, yes, we did have a confirmed tornado move through. And I'm going to slow down.
This was confirmed by public, correct?
Confirmed by public and through the Weather Service. They said observed.
Okay.
So we first got a report over the Lake Benson area, and then that's observed tornado track northeast, led to some damage in the Timber Drive, Woodland Road area in Garner, and now we're trying to get some more reports in and make sure that you're aware of the damage that this observed tornado produced in the Garner area. Hopefully it was minimal, but of course we'll get all the facts for you in the coming minutes and hours. So going back to Storm Tracker, what you're looking at right now, we continue to track this tornado warned storm. This is still, warning is still in effect for eastern Wake County, including the Rolesville and Wendell community. And you're also looking at the warning encompassing much of Franklin County, including the Lewisburg community down towards Bunn. This warning goes until 1:30. So, Scott, we have another 8 minutes left of this warning. Thankfully, the rotation nowhere near what it was in Garner, but still some strong winds, heavy rainfall to track.
Yeah, I can still see evidence of this circulation. So where we're talking about here on Max 5 is around Raleigh, between Raleigh, Hopkins, Lassiter, and the Barham area, right across North Carolina Highway 96. That's where we're talking about. As we back off a little bit here, it looks like this rotation is going to be moving up around Bunn or just west of Bunn along Highway 98 over towards 401 as it's moving away from Rolesville. It looks like the tornado threat is going to be ending or it's decreasing already around Rolesville. So these are the communities that we're now starting to target. This is over towards Bunn, eventually possibly over towards the Lewisburg area. This is moving off to the north and east at around 25 miles an hour. Put this, we'll give you the latest image right here, and I would say if I had to take my best estimate, I would say right in here is where we need to look, between Bunn to the east of Rolesville. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that right now and show you some roads here, Vernon. Pilot Riley Road, just south of the community of Raleigh over towards Hopkins. These areas, all these areas, you need to get to a place of safety for the possibility that we could see this thing begin to tighten up. And I see you're looking at a picture of the lows.
Yeah, it looks like Tom he has to come into work for this afternoon and evening, but he's going to be a bit delayed because he's out in Garner right now trying to see the damage. Looks like the Lowe's food is okay, and looks like it's still open. People coming in by this picture he sent us. So hopefully that viewer report that damage, if there is any to the Lowe's food, was minimal or it didn't happen. Hopefully that's the case. We do have the confirmed damage along the Woodland Drive and the Timber Drive and Woodland Road area as due to that observed tornado. And Scott, we stressed this with tornado safety. Hey, we don't need you to go out and look at it because one, it puts you in harm's way, and two, if you look out, you're not going to see it because most of the tornadoes we receive here in North Carolina are rain wrapped. Let's take a look at the rain that we have been dealing with this storm. This was in Holly Springs with this tornado warned storm. This definitely shows you can barely see a few feet out in front of you. This was taken by our chief photojournalist, Mark Barger, as he was traveling through Holly Springs. He was heading towards Crabtree Valley Mall, so he was traveling north, so he dealt with the heavy rain with this storm. Thankfully, he was nowhere near the observed tornado, and we're glad about that. So with rainfall like that, which, mind you, more heavy rain's on the way from the west. If we can switch that big box to max 3, more rainfall's coming in from the west. So yes, we dealt with nasty storm and observed tornado, but this is just the beginning of what could be an active afternoon. And the one thing you'll notice as we continue along with our coverage here it's a whole lot of nothing right here. And I know some folks south of Raleigh, Fayetteville, Sandhills thinking, hey, you know what? Those meteorologists don't know what they're talking about because it's dry and sunny right now. But that calm weather, that lull, will allow for the atmosphere to destabilize. And it could help fire up new storms and strengthen ongoing storms in the future this afternoon and evening. So that's why if you are seeing a bit of a lull in your area now, don't take it as a necessarily good thing. Yes, it allows you to maybe some last minute preparations, maybe secure some loose items around your home, but it is definitely set up to where we could have that dry weather, maybe a few breaks in the clouds, and that could lead to the atmosphere destabilizing, allowing for storms to strengthen later on this afternoon. Live look, UNC Pembroke across the Sandhills. Been mostly dry across the Sandhills other than a few brushes of showers and storms. But we're getting more storms coming in from the west. And just don't put your guard down. That's why we've been stressing stay weather aware through the day and the night.
Yeah, you know, I've been looking at this while you've been talking, Vernon, the circulation and moving into Franklin County. And in my opinion, this is a good trend. This circulation looks like it's weakening and is looking less likely that we're immediately have a tornado threat. So this would be just to the southwest of Bunn. Looks like it's going to be crossing Highway 98 pretty shortly. But if you look on the radar here, and I've got those arrows, that circulation doesn't look nearly as impressive as it did earlier on. As we back out and I show you when it crossed over over towards Garner. We'll zoom in and you can see there it is right there, and then we pick it up as it moves off to the north and east. In fact, I'll draw an arrow here and show you. There's the motion right there, and there's where it is right there. See how it kind of becomes less distinct, and it's becoming more broad. So there still is some weak rotation, but maybe this will be a sign that the National Weather Service will not extend this warning farther to the north. But if you live around Bunn, you need to take this seriously and get to a place of safety because, as we've seen before, this circulation has weakened, and then it strengthened, and it certainly tightened up as it moved over Garner, that's for sure.
So this warning goes until 1:20, so 2 more minutes left. And we're trying to work on getting some video out of Garner, which I'm looking at it right now. We're getting it into our system, and we'll get it to you shortly. But it looks like, Scott, that you can take a look at the video while I talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
The traffic lights across the road along Timber Drive and Woodland are laying across the road. There are first responders on scene. They're directing traffic around of it. But I'm looking at a lot of debris on the road here in this video. And mind you, we'll show it to you as soon as we get the opportunity to. We got to make sure to dot our I's and cross our T's before we just throw on video. But once it's available, if I can hear them, our producers, if you could chime in our ear whenever it's ready to go, but it just shows you that was, I mean, I'm sure, and understandably a scary situation for folks in Garner dealing with that observed tornado, and we're just in the middle of an active afternoon with more storms coming in from the west. You can see that's moving through the Greensboro, Asheboro area, Albemarle, Scott, in the area that you know well since you covered that for us. This is a live look at Greensboro, so that rainfall that's impacting them, that's headed our way with new showers and storms, and we'll continue with the threat of severe weather. Really going into the evening hours, the threat decreases a bit later on tonight, but we'll still likely deal with some heavy rain and strong winds. And Scott, we were talking about this earlier, even outside of the thunderstorm threat, later on this evening and tonight, especially as that front moves through, and even behind it, we're still going to have some strong winds, and that could still lead to some damage in the area.
Yeah, that's right. The winds that we're going to experience later on this evening, we're talking about late evening into the wee hours of the morning, are going to be behind the front. And the winds are going to switch out of the northwest, and that cold push of air is really going to accelerate. We're talking about winds around 35 miles an hour to maybe as high as 50 miles an hour, and that certainly will blow around some holiday decorations. So not a bad idea, maybe, to take some of those inflatables in, because they may be blown in your neighbor's yard and be damaged. So this event is just now taking place. We're looking at this one cell that's moving across Wake County, now moving into Franklin County. But as you showed, Vernon, we're looking at another line that's organizing off to the south and west, and it'll be these areas here that I'm going to highlight here, down to the southeast of the triangle. That's where we're seeing some breaks in the overcast, and things may become more unstable, and areas, our neighbors down to the south and east, down along the coastal areas, may be dealing with some storms that may start to rotate. So this time frame we're talking about here, from now all the way through the evening up till, say, maybe around 10 o'clock in the evening, that we start to see this finally begin to push off the coast. But certainly this is something we're going to all be watching. All the meteorologists here, we're going to be tracking very closely. So as we zoom into the latest one, this is the warning that we have right now, and it looks like it should be, the warning is until, let's see, I believe you said 1:20, so it's 1:21. So let me go ahead and get the latest information on this latest warning here. And says radar indicated this is until 1:30. So actually we have 9 minutes to go until this, until 1:30. So what we've been seeing on this is that the rotation, let me get this out of the way, the rotation has not been as distinct as it was over Garner, and hopefully that trend will continue, and this will be the last tornado we have, at least with this storm, for the time being. But what you're looking at is the heavy rain will put this into motion. You can see how that moved up through the Garner area and is now moving to the north and east. As far as the velocity is concerned, that was, it started to weaken a little bit. You can see that couplet moving right across Garner. And now, I have to say, Vernon, this is good news. I'm not seeing a rotation here that's very distinct, at least not on this radar site. I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit tighter here. And let's put on the other radar, see if we can do some research here and see what we're looking at here. So this is the terminal radar site from to the north. And so you're seeing some greens and reds together. As we put this into motion, there it is right there, and now it's moving towards the Bunn. So that's where the circulation is left over. Let's put the latest image on here. Let me redraw these arrows. So the circulation is now moving into the Bunn region right now. So there's where that leftover circulation is, but it's not nearly as distinct as it was earlier. So that's some good news. Looks like we've got an update here from the National Weather Service. Let's go ahead and look at that. This is the latest update that's just come out at 1:22. Severe thunderstorm warning, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Zebulon, or 17 miles to the south of Lewisburg, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. Other locations that may be impacted by this include Pilot and Bunn around 125. So that's about 2 minutes away. So that's where this storm is right now. Until for another 6 minutes, we've got this tornado warning. So this does include the Bunn area. Even though it does include Zebulon, the threat for a tornado is north of Zebulon. Folks in the Bunn area need to take this seriously, as what's left of the circulation is moving over highway. There's the latest image right now, moving over Highway 98 as we speak on the west side of Bunn. Looks like over towards Highway 39. Vernon?
Yeah, if we can come to, there you go. Gotta love my director Gabe there. What we're looking at is the shear track. So this shows you where the rotation really tightened up. This is in the Garner area. This is Timber Drive right here. So that's where we've been reporting the most damage right now, right there along Woodland Drive as well. Looking at the video that I'm seeing, definitely looks like a lot of debris on the road. There's some trees on a tree on a home with some severe damage as well. All right, so we have the video. There we go. So I'm going to walk way too close to the monitor so I can see this really well, and we can just keep playing this. And Scott, feel free to chime in as you view it. But you're looking at a lot of trees, twigs on the road right there, a tree on the ground, and the street light is laying across the road.
What road is this again?
This is Timber Drive in Woodland. at that intersection in Garner.
Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, you know, I can tell you this, the National Weather Service is going to bring a team out there.
Yeah.
They'll survey this, determine whether it was twisting winds, possible tornado, or straight line winds, and then they'll try to estimate the wind speed of whatever this was. But certainly, there were some strong winds that came through that area for sure.
Yeah, this is near Timber Elementary, so I'm going to get back to our graphics here, and that was the biggest concern because, as I mentioned, as it moved out of southwestern Wake County and got closer to the Raleigh metro area and the Garner area is a more populated area, and I hate to hear of damage, on people's homes. Hopefully there are no injuries or anything worse than that. Well, like I said a few minutes ago, we do have a reporter en route, so we'll get a live update as soon as possible, folks, so just stay with us on that. Zooming out a bit, once again, we're looking at the history of the rotation of the storm. And I am so thankful for Tom Miners, meteorologist Tom Miners. His church friend relayed a message through him that there was a tornado spotted in the Lake Benson area. That came a couple of minutes before the confirmation for the Weather Service. And when you're dealing with tornadoes, minutes matter. We were glad to be one of the first ones on with the coverage for you. But hopefully people heeded the warning and got into a safe location. So as we continue to expand out, it showed that how this storm was rotating really well all the way over Rock Quarry Road, Pool Road through the Knightdale area. And we still have the warning ongoing for eastern Wake and Franklin County. I think the more concerning aspect now, because the rotation has weakened and broadened out, strong straight line winds. Now, there's still enough there to where we need to watch it very closely. This is, and once again, going until 1:30, so another 3 minutes left on this warning here. It's still showing some signs of weak rotation. That's why you're seeing it right over Zebulon and just to the southwest of the Bunn area, dealing with some weak rotation, but nothing compared to what we saw before. So we're going to continue to expand out because I wanted to show you the history of this. Now, mind you, I can go all the way back towards South Carolina, which I didn't want to expand out that far. But it just showed you this was the same storm that prompted a tornado warning for Harnett and Lee County. Then it continued to travel northeast, and then it really intensified over southern Wake County, prompting a 2 tornado warning and eventually producing a tornado that hit over the Lake Garner area and moving through southeast Raleigh. So that is what we're seeing, the main area where we were watching it, and then it continued to travel northeast. Thankfully not as strong now, but still worth watching. And we do have more storms on the way. Going to hit the home button real quick, reset, give you a lay of the land before I toss it back to Scott. What we're watching right now, the new storms coming in out of the west. So we'll continue to watch these storms continue to travel northeast. Similar to what the discrete cell did before. Now, what my concern is as we continue along with our day, I mentioned this earlier, you're seeing a big gap here. That is allowing for atmosphere to destabilize. We're moving through a very spring-like day, unseasonably warm, highs in the 60s and 70s. We're also dealing with rather muggy, humid setup. That's a very buoyant atmosphere that allows for thunderstorms to feed off of that. Hopefully, doesn't happen, but the one thing about it is, North Carolina, we get so many tornadoes from linear systems. That's basically a line of thunderstorms. We call that a squall line. And even as that becomes a more linear shape with the storms, we'll have to watch for certain bends and bows within that line because that could lead to a quick spin-up tornado as well. So yes, those discrete cells out in front of it, they can really amplify rather quickly and produce a tornado there, but also with the squall lines, they too can produce some impressive and quick spinning tornadoes. And Scott, you have something new?
Yeah, we have brand new information. This is from meteorologist Tom Miners. We have a house. He's sent a picture of a house with damage. This is in the Bungenfield Court cul-de-sac. It looks like some roof damage to this home. We're going to try to effort to get this picture on the air, but looking at that's from meteorologist Tom Miners. great job there. Also looking at some other areas around Timberland Drive, looking at some debris on the ground. So certainly some strong winds move through there, whether it be tornadic or straight line winds, we're not sure yet, but certainly some damage. And it would confirm, those areas confirm the area where we saw on radar where that couplet tightened up. So my feeling is it's probably a weak tornado rather than straight line winds. And the good news is, Vernon, that it looks like the National Weather Service has allowed this tornado warning to expire, and they have not reissued one. So that's good news as the circulation has weakened. But we are not done yet with the threat for severe weather across central and eastern North Carolina. It is very possible we could see a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch later issued, and certainly we could see some warnings. So we've got reinforcements coming in. Chief Meteorologist Gary Stevenson is in the house, and he's going to be he's going to be watching this as well, Vernon.
Yeah, and we're going to continue with this wall-to-wall coverage because, yes, the warning has been allowed to expire, but we're trying to get the latest information for you as possible. As mentioned earlier, we do have a reporter going to the scene. We'll have a live report with them, and I believe a watch has just been issued. Can one of y'all update me on that? I believe a watch has just been issued. Glad we stayed with the wall-to-wall coverage because, as we've been saying, the atmosphere will be conducive for more storms. We do have a line coming in from the west. And I believe we are dealing. Actually, I can pull it up right here.
Yeah, pull it up there, Vernon.
Yeah,
there we go.
There
it is. As we speak, I just mentioned.
There you go. It was taking a while to populate, but it's coming. It's coming to us. So,
all right.
This is a tornado watch until 8 o'clock. So we got So
this is for eastern North Carolina.
No, it's going to fill out. It's going to be for. It's going to be for much of. It's going to be central and eastern North Carolina.
Yep.
Raleigh hasn't populated yet.
Yep.
So that's what we're waiting on, folks. Once again, it's been issued out now. The Weather Services just after issuing them out. The Weather Service office in Wakefield, Morehead City, has already issued out a tornado watch for eastern North Carolina, and I'm going to do some live producing. Can we go ahead and merge the Raleigh and coastal wheels since we do have a new tornado watch that uncovers for eastern North Carolina as well? Gabe, I'm sorry, viewers, doing some live producing. Talk to my director right now. So let me know when we're with the coast as well. I want to make sure to go ahead and merge it right now since we have that new tornado watch that uncovers. I believe it's going to go as far. It's going to be the Raleigh and coastal market. So yeah, that's going to be all of the eastern half of the state under a tornado watch until 8 o'clock. This was just issued, and that watch will go also into southeastern Virginia. That's a big deal because I'm from Elizabeth City, and I know a lot of folks in Elizabeth City spend time up in southeastern Virginia, a lot of family there as well. So you're looking at the strong storms we're dealing with here, tracking northeast into southeastern Virginia. So as we wait a little bit, Raleigh will eventually populate out their tornado watch for central North Carolina, and we'll be watching these storms until 8 o'clock. So these storms started a bit later than the 10 o'clock window we said. No surprise that Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center maybe pushed the ending time a bit farther back towards 8 o'clock. So we'll be watching out for rotating storms for the next several hours. No wonder Chief Meteorologist Gary Stevenson is in. Tom Miners, he's out. I saw signs that he might give us a live report in the field along with our reporter.
We'll have to see if that does happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So what we're seeing.
Hold on real quick, Scott.
Yep.
So stay till the end of the 42. 41.
Okay, coast is in as well. Okay, so here we go. Thank you for our viewers in eastern North Carolina now joining our viewers here in central North Carolina. We have merged our two wheels. That is the great thing about Spectrum News 1. We give you coverage from the mountains to the coast, and we're going to make sure that everyone's aware at the same time. So if you're just now joining us from eastern North Carolina, you may have received a report on a notification on your phone. Scott, I believe you had the graphic full screen. Let's take up Max 5 full screen. Tornado watch until 8 o'clock. Right now, it's populated for eastern North Carolina. Once the National Weather Service in Raleigh issues that for central North Carolina, it'll populate on our system here at home. So, Scott, with the tornado watch now till 8 o'clock, I'm going to play the role of the viewer. What does that mean for folks under this watch? What should they do in your advice?
All right, so what a watch means that there are ingredients in place for favorable for the development of isolated tornadoes. That's why the Storm Prediction Center in Oklahoma City has issued this tornado watch for eastern North Carolina. What we're waiting for right now are the individual National Weather Service offices, one in Raleigh, Wilmington, Newport, and up in Wakefield, to all issue their county. It looks like they've done so in Newport, Morehead City, and over towards Tidewater, Virginia. We're still waiting to see if those counties to the west are populated as well, including the Triangle. So, tornado watch, the possibility of a tornado exists through 8 o'clock. We'll have to see if that is extended farther than that, but right now we don't have any warnings. A warning is issued when we have rotation or an observed tornado. We just went through that with that system, that storm that went through Wake County. Now that has moved into Franklin County, but we're also watching this activity off to the west in the western Piedmont. That's going to be moving in. There we go. This also includes all the counties in the Triangle, including Fayetteville, Cumberland County, over towards also down towards Rayford and Moore County as well. So Sampson, Cumberland, Hoke, and Moore County areas north and east. So that tornado watch goes until 8 o'clock. So if we can get that banner on the bottom, if you want, for our producers in the back, if you want to make that a banner on the bottom, tornado watch until 8 o'clock, you can go ahead. I want to catch up our viewers from eastern North Carolina. If you didn't know, there was a tornado confirmed in the Garner area, which is southeast of Raleigh, and we have merged our Raleigh and our central and eastern North Carolina channels to give you expanded coverage across the eastern half of the state because of the tornado watch just issued. So for my viewers across eastern North Carolina, just a bit of a catch up. We had a tornado touchdown just to the southeast of Garner. It was one that we definitely were tracking ever since really the past couple of hours, because it first prompted a tornado warning in Harnett and Lee County. And then it spun up even more and actually produced a tornado near the Lake Benson area in Garner. So that was the rotation. That was right around 1:30 for that tornado there. And if there's a tornado that's going to develop, let it be close to the radar site. So it gave us a great view of that. We do have reports of damage. If it's ready, I want to go back to the video of the damage in Garner. Gabe, let me know when that's ready to we can bring that up. There you go. This is some of the damage that was left behind from that observed tornado. Traffic lights laying across the road, a tree on a home. You hate to see it. We're getting more reports coming in, and we will have a live reporter there. Meteorologist Tom Miners is also in the area as well. So we'll have the whole full team coverage as well. And we are tracking more storms, and Scott, one has caught your eye. It certainly has. We're now looking at the same cell. This is moving through the Bunn area, but south of Bunn, the radar on Max 5 is showing this cell now between Bunn and Spring Hope. We put on the velocity here, and this is what caught my attention. We're now starting to see right to the north of US 64 and to the east of Highway 39, right in here. This is where we're starting to see rotation take place once again. It would not surprise me. I know the National Weather Service is looking at this as well. It would not surprise me if a new tornado warning is issued pretty soon, and this would be in this area south of Bunn. Let me pan out a little bit more here, and you can see that is between Bunn and Middlesex, Zebulon, and over towards the Spring Hope area, and farther to the east around Nashville. Let me zoom in a little bit tighter, and I'm gonna go back in history here. Look at the time at the top. You see 1:30. You see 1:18. So I'm going to go back, and now we'll move it forward, and you start to see that circulation now tightening up, that little couplet right there that we're going to have to see. If that continues to tighten up, it would not surprise me if the National Weather Service drops another tornado warning, which would mean that the radar is seeing rotation and there could be a tornado forming in that area. So I would say I'm not issuing a tornado warning on myself. The National Weather Service is the only one that can do that. Now we have our latest image. Look at this. Now that image is moving right over Highway 98, or just to the northeast of Daddysville, Gold Valley Crossroads, and also Spring Hope. So this is the area I'm really keying in on. the possibility we have some rotation with this storm. Let me back out here to give you an idea where we're talking about. If you're just joining us, we do not have a tornado warning in effect right now, but we certainly are. I'm eyeing this one little couplet south of Lewisburg, southeast of Bunn, and to the southwest of Spring Hope. It'd be interesting. Let's see if we can see this on the other radar site. This would be the terminal site, which has been very good in this situation for showing some rotation as well. And it's also showing this little area that went across earlier with that storm and now is possibly tightening up. So we'll have to see if this is not looking as impressive on this radar as it is on the National Weather Service radar down in Clayton. But that's something to look at right there, Vernon.
Yeah.
So just the possibility, just the possibility we're looking at.
Right, and we're gonna we a little bit more live producing some housekeeping, if you will. We had a hard out have a hard out coming out at 43, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say, Gabe, in the backup, we're gonna just go blow by that just with that new area of rotation. We're gonna watch it, and also just continuing to get new reports in from the Garner area. So what we're watching. The Timber Drive and Woodland Road area, that was the area that was hardest hit. Getting reports that, of course, first responders are on scene. Cops are directing traffic, so it's partially closed due to the down traffic lights. And also, there are expected delays, and there's alternate routes. So right now, you know what, doing my best Amy impersonation just with the traffic situation in Garner. I'm going to find Timber Road. So there we go. So just delays along Timber Drive. Sections of it is closed. Folks are being rerouted. Just a heads up there to understandably expect delays there along Timber Drive, no matter if you're going north or south. Just a heads up there. That was a hard hit area. There's reports of trees on homes, some roof damage for folks, getting more pictures in. Tom, he has his drone out, so he's getting some drone shots for us.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. And I mean, you're looking, I'm ready, like, we're going to get these pictures to you folks as soon as possible.
Look at that, how it just sheared off that tree about 5 feet above the ground.
Trees looking like a toothpick.
Looks like it's on a house or a garage.
A little shed or something in the back.
That's right.
So, so we're watching that closely. So, but we're also watching new storms. And Scott, as you mentioned earlier, you're watching one that was just to the east of Bunn, now getting towards the Spring Hope. Yeah, I'm watching it right now. It's just something that we're watching. And this is on Max 5.
Yeah, this is on Max 5. I'll go ahead and highlight it here. This is one little area right here I'm looking at, and it continues to, it tightened up a little bit right there, and now is moving across Highway 98 as we speak. So just something I'm watching right now. Nothing, no warnings that have been issued, but something to keep an eye on. Other than that's that one cell, and as I put this into motion, you'll be able to see that is moving to the northeast. So these thunderstorms are in an environment right now where they have favorable shear. That means the winds are speeding up with height, and they're also changing direction with height. And when you get that type of wind shear, directional wind shear, that allows these storms to start to take advantage of that, and they start to rotate. And if they're by themselves, a discrete cell, those are the ones that we really start to pay attention of. And this has been a discrete cell that formed in South Carolina, moved across the border, moved up through the Sandhills, and now is in the northeast Piedmont in Franklin County. And so at times these have been showing some rotation. They weaken, and then the latest one strengthened around Garner, and that's where we have damage. So we're watching this very, very closely to see if we see a re-strengthening of this cell. But right now, nothing imminent, but, you know, a lot of times these volume scans that we look at can ramp up very quickly or weaken very quickly. So we'll have to see what the National Weather Service, the good friends of the National Weather Service, are looking at. They're the entity that issues warnings, not us. We don't issue tornado warnings. We can tell you that there are areas that we're concerned about, that we're watching, that we wouldn't be surprised if a warning was issued, but respectfully, we let them handle that. So that's what we're looking at right at the moment. And as we'll go ahead and pan out here, there's the area right there. Let me pan out here on the camera, and there's another cell up to the north. That has not been showing any rotation, at least nothing between Lewisburg and Castalia. And also looking at some showers. It looks like to me this stuff over in the southwestern Piedmont, some heavy rain, but it has not shown any rotation with that, at least not yet. What we're also going to have to watch out is along the coast. So let's go ahead, in fact, let's change radars here. Mm-hmm. We'll go ahead and look at the Wilmington National Weather Service radar and put that in. And these are just showers. We're not looking at anything, any rotation with these. Let's go ahead and put the velocity on this and see if we're seeing anything. And right now, nothing offshore that I'm concerned about, and nothing that I'm seeing right now. And that is the case farther to the north, over towards Morehead City, up towards Newport. That radar as well, you can see we have access to all these radars, so this is very nice that we can really look across the entire region. It looks like some heavy rain is going to be moving up from Onslow Bay and the Atlantic. That's going to be moving over towards the Cape Lookout National Seashore, the Crystal Coast, around Emerald Isle, Topsail Beach. That has some heavier rain with it, but we're not seeing anything that's of any concern. It's just those showers that we're looking at that have now moved to the northeast.
All right, switching back to Max 3, we continue to get reports out of Garner. This is an image, a picture sent in by our meteorologist Tom Miners. He has his drone out and captured this twig, I say twig, massive tree that will snap like a twig.
That's a big twig.
There's the National Weather Service office in Raleigh, their meteorologist will confirm if that was due to the actual tornado or just the strong winds coming off of the storm.
How invaluable is that to have a meteorologist that has a drone with access to that? That's just an incredible image there, and shows you exactly. Look how that tree was sheared off and snapped. I tell you what, it takes strong winds to be able to do that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. I mean,
that's impressive.
I hate that tree fell and it fell on their shed, but I'm glad it's not on the home right beside it there. So, and one thing that you'll notice, if we can actually turn camera 13 to the big wall real quick for my director Gabe real quick, I want to point something out real quick. If we can turn camera 13, there we go. So what we're looking at with this shot, yes, the eye-catching appeal is the massive tree that's just splintered at the base because of the strong winds, or the tornado itself ripped it apart. But the one thing that's indicative of a tornado coming through, Scott, and you can chime in when you want, the tree standing up beside it, if you look up to the top here, you're seeing some of the bark that was just ripped off from it. So you're seeing kind of like, think of it like when you peel a banana. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're ripping it off. That's what those winds or the tornado itself did. And it looks like there's also some debris in the tree here. So we can bring this up full screen real quick, and I'll do some highlighting of what we're looking at real quick. I might have to reload this image, so forgive me if you get a... there we go. Okay, so basically what I'm talking about here is, if I can get my current tool out and look, it's just you're looking at the top of the screen right below the banner there at the top. You're seeing some of the bark off that tree being ripped off, and you're also, there's my pointer, there we go. So you're looking at some of the bark with that tree ripped off there, and then you're looking at some debris. Looks like it's caught into the branches of the nearby trees. So that is what you're looking at. That's usually what you see after a tornado, because a tornado is like a toddler in a playroom. Things are just going everywhere. And that's exactly what a tornado does. It tosses everything everywhere.
Yeah, it could be also where that one tree fell on that other tree and kind of ripped up some bark. So a lot of times there's a domino effect. I witnessed that firsthand when that tornado crossed I-95 over in the northeast part of the Piedmont. And when that tornado came through, you could see how the trees just came down like dominoes as it crossed the interstate and made a path. Now that was a pretty strong tornado. It looks like we're just seeing a few trees here, so it remains to be seen how strong this one is going to be, if it is indeed a tornado, which probably will be.
And I wanted to switch back to our storm tracker, because we are watching this line coming in from the west, and some heavy rainfall has infiltrated out of the Triad area. Now it's moving through Alamance and Chatham County, so folks in Siler City dealing with some heavy rainfall. So that's the one thing you hate in situations like this, because folks are already trying to clean up and get just a get their bearings after a tornado in Garner, but more storms are on the way, and that'll be there within another 30 minutes to an hour. New showers and storms in the area with some pretty heavy rainfall that's going to track through Chatham, Orange, Durham, Person County as well. And we'll have to watch for these storms closely, just because, I mean, all it takes is a little bit of rotation, and that one area rotation could tighten up and it could prompt another warning. And hopefully not, but we're going to make sure to stay with you every step of the way. So we're going to have more reports. I think we're getting set up with our live reports with our reporters, and I think even Tom's about to give us a live report as well. And I want to stress this, and we can come back to double boxes as well for this, because I really want to make sure to stress this. This is not a situation where the storm threat ends once the sun sets and you're going to bed getting ready for work or school tomorrow. We'll continue with the threat, an isolated threat of severe weather well into the night, and winds will remain strong as a cold front moves through, especially for eastern North Carolina. Chief Meteorologist Gary Stevenson has come in, and he's going to be leading that coverage later on today as well, and we're going to be watching these storms rather closely for the rest of our Sunday and Sunday night.